All too common is it that when we walk into a museum and hear those snide comments, "What is it? Is it even art? My kid could have made that." It's especially common when it comes to abstract art, without a figure or a still life or a landscape to hold on to. What is it even about? So today I want to talk to you guys about a painting that's often at the butt of these kind of jokes. It's Kazimir Malevich's Black Square. So this all starts when Malevich's friend asked him to design the costume and the set for a cubo-futurist opera called Victory Over the Sun. Cubo-futurist opera was an anti-establishment avant-garde production where it was basically incomprehensible. It was made of nonsensical words, an offbeat plot, and a very jarring score. In the late 1920s Soviet Russia, Malevich believed that non-objective art was the future, but was forced to go back to the figurative. Thus, with his buddies, they decided to destroy the object altogether. Now, the show mostly just annoyed their audience, but among the flamboyantly colored and futuristic set, there was one pivotal backdrop that appeared at the end of the opera. It was a single black square painted on a white backdrop. It wasn't until 2 years later, during the second staging, that Malevich realized what he had created, a genuinely original artistic expression. He called it Suprematism. It was pure abstraction. Removed were all visual cues so that the viewer will have the experience of non-objectivity, the supremacy of pure feeling. These paintings are freed from any object. They don't depict an object that isn't really there, and they're exactly what it says it is. It's a black square, paint on canvas, and nothing more and nothing less. Now, his paintings were definitely difficult to swallow for many, as does much of the art that challenges our preconceived notions of what art is. As a viewer, we've been trained to recognize signs and symbols. For example, here's a house, here's a person. We know that they're not a physical person or a physical house, but we recognize that they're representations of them. In Black Square, Malevich removes all of these references, but we're still trying to look at it and try to rationalize it. For many, this is what gets at their nerves. What am I looking at? Well, paint. Yeah, but what am I looking at? You're looking for a sign that doesn't exist. At least for some abstract art, you can reason there's pretty shapes and colors that are musically balanced. In Pollock's work, you could look at the drips, the motion, the energy. But in Malevich, we get none of that. There's no seductive color or shape. It's just plain. And that's precisely the point. Why can't art be something more than just a pretty picture on the wall? Malevich launched Suprematism at the last Futurist exhibition of painting, 010, in Petrograd in December 1915. The title refers to the 10 participants, though 14 actually ended up participating, who are all seeking to find the 0 degree, the irreducible core, and the bare minimum of painting and sculpture. The black square was the star of the show. It was given a very special position. It hung high, practically touching the crown molding of the ceiling, across the 2 right angles where the wall meets. This location in Russian Orthodox homes is usually reserved for religious iconography. By replacing what is usually Christ's head, the cheeky placement can be read as a way of exerting their independence from a Western European tradition. So his work isn't just a black square. It responds to cultural, social, historical situations. And its value lies not just on the paint on the canvas, but its historical significance. So no, I'm sorry, your kid probably couldn't have made it, and even if you tell them to make a copy, it will not cost as much as that one, and it would just be really mean to the kid. So tell me what you think about the black square. This video isn't really to tell you, oh, it's the greatest work ever, or that it's perfect. There's definitely a lot of problems that critics and fellow artists and even Malevich himself has pointed out. So yeah, let me know what you think. That was a lot of information. I hope you guys were able to follow me. Please check out my Tumblr. I recently answered a question about the difference of illustration and art, and that was really fun to research and answer. Feel free to leave a question in my Tumblr or on my YouTube comments down below, and I'll try my best to answer them. What's your opinion of the term, "my kid could have made that"? I think it's kind of ridiculous. I feel like a person who makes that kind of comment usually doesn't know a whole lot about art history. Like, they might have just walked around in galleries and said, oh, they just threw some paint on there, which is, well, sometimes it's true, but there's a lot that goes on into it. So I hope you don't think it's a joke. And if you do think something is a joke, feel free to leave a comment down below, and maybe I could take a look and see what I think. Thanks for watching. Bye!